Welcome to this tutorial on making animations in Madefire. We're going to start by creating an animation as a single asset. You do that by going to Actions, Upload Assets. You click on the Advanced Options button, and you see where it says Treat as Animation Sequence. You want to tick that box. Then you go in and you're going to select the files that you want to animate. The first one you select is going to be the first one that plays. The last one is going to be the last one that plays. So you want to make sure that they're in the proper order. And you click Open, and you see it's uploading them. But ultimately, it's only making one sequence. So it's done. But you see, instead of it's only made one file that's basically an animation file, and it's playing that animation back. And this is going to behave exactly like a sound in Madefire now. So if you create a new page and then say add layer, you could drag and drop this in and it'll automatically create a layer like you normally do. Or you can create a layer. It's an image sequence layer that uses animated sequences. So you can create a layer that way, or you can drag and drop it in. But since we've already dragged and dropped it in, let's take a look at what we have. Now this is going to function just like a sound. So you'll see, because we imported in all of the sequences and made a contained animation, that there's just one file inside of this window. You have a sequence duration, which will lengthen and shorten the amount of time between each frame. But because it behaves just like a sound, you're not going to be able to see it until you apply an effect to it. So let's apply an effect. The type of effect are play and pause. Those are the ones that work with animated sequences. So we're going to do a play at the start, and then you have to give it a duration. Let's just give it a 0.1 duration. So now if we go back and then play our animation, you'll see that'll play. So we can go back to our layer and we could loop it. So we just say loop indefinitely. Now it'll loop indefinitely. And now we could futz about with the timing if we want. If you reduce it from 1 down to 0.2, it'll speed it up. And if you go above 1, it'll slow it down. So you have a couple of adjustments there. And that's one way of bringing an animation in and making an animated sequence. And you'll notice that you can move it around, you can scale it. It behaves just like a regular layer. So if you have a body of text, you can put it wherever you want. So now we're going to make another kind of animated sequence. This time we're going to create it from scratch. We're going to go in, we're going to make an animated sequence layer. And now you see how it just has a window here. So what we're going to do this time is I've actually put all of these files in a folder, and these are actually all of the individual image files. So I uploaded them all individually. So you see, if I select them, I can hold down the Shift key and select them all at once, and then drag them into this window. Now, when you drag in multiple images, it actually makes you see all the images in there. So now you can move things around. If I want to move this, if I want to move layer 10 up, for example, because right now it's before layer 11. See how layer 12 is in front of layer 10, so you probably want to move that back. So you can move layers around or remove them by the minus sign. You still can loop it, and you can do everything else that you were doing before, and you can still apply your effect. And we want to do a play effect. So now you see we have 2 of these going. You want to make sure you give your animation some kind of a duration, because if it has 0 duration, it won't play. So you see how the one played once and then the other one loops. So that's one way of doing animations. Now there's one other thing that you can do with animations. We're going to create another new page. This time I'm going to drop in a background. Now I'm going to put an animation in on top of it. And I've actually, in my folders, I've prepared some assets for an animated sequence. So I'm going to go 7 through 22. We're going to create our new layer, an image sequence. I'm going to drop these guys into the layer. And I'm going to add, see how you can remove, like I can go in here and I could remove image 7, then I can add it back in. So now these are all out of sequence, right? So I want to put 7 up at the top. And these are just different ways that you can control. You have a little bit more control when you do the animations this way. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 goes at the bottom. So put them all in order. So there's our animation, and now we're just going to do a single loop. I'm going to assign an effect to it. So I'll have it start play. You can have it start playing anytime you want. I'm going to have it playing at the start. I'm going to add a duration. And there's my animation. Now I can go back in here. I'm just going to have it loop twice. I'm going to speed it up. I'm basically going to speed it up by about 50%. So let's say I'm happy with that. So you see it plays twice. Now the interesting thing that you can do is this behaves just like any other layer. It is like a sound layer, so when you get to a tap point, if you loop it, it will continue to play. But the interesting thing now is that I can go in and bring in a different image. And I can use my animation as a mask to that image. So if I just click on mask, just like you normally would, and select the one that you want to mask, which is the BG. So now you'll see that that image is masking out that background picture. So these are just a few of the things you could do with the animation. It's a really unique and powerful way to tell a story. And so I hope you enjoyed this little brief tutorial on animation and have fun with it.